Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Dimas, and I would like to apologize for doing. First off, I would like to apologize for doing this task outside because I have a guest in the house. I would prefer not to bother them. Um, so tonight I will be talking about an an event that occurred because I should preface this by saying the task asked us to speak about something that's happening in another country, but this technically happened on international waters, which means and also it visited multiple countries, so I would say it counts. So this situation happened on a ship, specifically called the HMV Hondius, which is a ship bearing the Dutch flag. So there's your country, but also the ship functioned as a cruise ship, uh, which had made stops in Argentina, Cabo Verde, South Africa, and then it was on its way to Europe, which means Netherlands, Germany, Switzerland, France, Spain, maybe. Yeah, just all those are involved. So what's happening here is that there was an outbreak of a new virus. Remember the corona? Remember how fun that was? There's a new virus. People are calling it the Hanta virus because it's a catchier name, but actually it's not just a Hanta virus. It's specifically the Andes virus, which is a strain of the Hanta virus. What makes the Andes um, um, strain different is that for the normal hantavirus, the other hantavirus variants, it can only be transmitted from a rodent to a human. But for the Andes strain, it can be transmitted from human to human through. There's a rat. I'm scared I'm gonna get the virus. Through closeness, close contacts. So what happened was, a guy died on the ship on April 11th, and they didn't even didn't even suspect that it it could probably be the cause. It could probably be the result of a virus. So this virus can spread from human to human, and as time went on, more and more people got infected, and it's made headlines all around the world now. Now, what's wrong about this is that the symptoms are very similar to either the normal flu or the COVID. So that's why they could have just brushed it aside, didn't even think that it might be something new, in the sense that the symptoms are extremely similar. Yeah, also it's hard to pinpoint exactly where it's from because the person got the strain presumably from a rodent. So pinpointing exactly where on the ship the rodent was is practically impossible. What they're doing now is they're screening through all the passengers that was on the ship and tracing them through their flights, their travels, and everyone that's been in contact there, to be warned and noted down. And then certain countries like the Netherlands and South Africa, they have deployed specialized units to move the critically ill patients to a special quarantine, which probably the result of what we learned from COVID. Also, they implemented new protocols for people who are about to go travel. Yeah, now they're trying to determine if this Andes strain had evolved to mutate even further, which would be terrifying, and it would change the whole perspective here, because it would, if it did involve, or if it does involve, it will most likely will involve in a way that it could target humans much better than it could. So it will probably be extremely dangerous. I think what should have been done instead, I think there's some flaws that became visible from this event right here. For example, the information regarding this incident is not publicly available, or at least it's not easily available to the public. So even in a sense that even for me, I had to do research on this to actually find out what it was, instead of just finding it through the social media, the normal social media that I use. Also, there's a problem with early diagnosis. As I said, the symptoms were very similar. So it's hard to pinpoint if it's exactly something new or if it's something that has already existed. Another problem was the first case. They didn't even do any biological tests on it. So what should have been done is there should have been a post-mortem protocol, because this happened on a cruise ship. The guy that died on April 11th, he died on the cruise ship. So because this is a high contact zone, like people are interacting with each other all over the ship, there should be a specific or a special protocol for people that have passed away to be tested microbiologically. Also, after this happened, the people who disembarked, they didn't tell them to quarantine, or they didn't quarantine themselves. They only tell them to self-monitor, which is extremely dangerous, I think. There should have been anyone who got off that ship should immediately be quarantined, because the incubation period for the flu or COVID is typically around 42 days. Yeah, I think it's been 8 minutes. I think that's about it.